the clerk. All right, public comments, one more time. Come on, don't hold back.
Al Ramos,
Yes.
I'd just like to thank Pat Williams for her service to this community. That's a long time to be in there, and she done a pretty good job. So thanks, Pat.
Absolutely. All right, anybody else? Mrs. Caswell.
Yes, Pat and I started working back in '78 together. We started working with everything was by hand. Our ledger books would fill up our dining room tables because we all worked out of our homes. Then we got computers. So then we started working at the old Township Hall up by the bank. So when Pat would collect taxes, she's really convenient to go next door and make her deposits. But then we moved out here to the Township Hall, and she couldn't have that much cash here when she was by herself. So she had to quit collecting the cash, just take checks. But Pat has done so many things for this township. She always went to Sam's and got all our paper products. She worked elections. She, I'm just gonna make me cry. We're all gonna make me cry. But we've been through a lot of things together. I mean, Bruce even taught her kids when we were working together. She had grandkids, I had kids and then grandkids. And I just want to commend her for a job well done, and I appreciate your friendship. Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Oh, hands are
Yep.
going.
Since we were on the topic of bullying, I would just like to take a minute and have a couple of words myself. During some FOIA information that was obtained recently, I became aware of a township policy voted in 2015 that actually talked about the FOIA responsibilities, and that in there it stated it's the clerk's responsibility, but if it's not, the clerk cannot perform the responsibility for some reason, it is to be handed to the treasurer. So we all know that there was a big Reuters FOIA that somehow got the can kicked to Mark. So I just wanted to let everyone know that that was not Mark's responsibility technically, and he endured monthly takedowns, bullying, harassment, lies and innuendos. That information about his incompetence was sent to the media, to flyers around this whole community. It was used as a ploy for the recall, and this was not even his responsibility. In hindsight, Mark got to where he just didn't listen to the cackling anymore, and you wouldn't know who it was. It was Bev and Janice and Bonnie and all of those. And I would never have wished that on Pat in 100 years. She wouldn't have been able to handle the stress. I'm glad Mark got it instead of her, but technically, that was Pat's responsibility. It wasn't Mark's. He took that one for the team. Not that he'll ever get an apology or a thank you for that. Although on the other hand, if Pat had been Pat had been doing that, she would not have suffered that. I mean, it was, she's a friend of the other ladies, so she wouldn't have been taken down like he was every meeting. But Mark suffered a great deal of stress over that initially. Like I said, he got to where after he did what the township attorney told him he needed to do, he just tuned people out. You have to after a while, but yeah, a lot of bullying and harassment that wasn't even his to take.
Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, Gail in the back.
My mom always said if you don't like something, either shut up or do something about it. And I did not like the zoning. So I got on the board to grumble about the zoning. And guess what? I'm probably one of the biggest supporters now of zoning. And I also made many friends. Mary Swan, Alice Hardin, was two more who was on the board. And that was Beth and Pat. And I'm gonna tell you what, these two people, and I know Bruce and Freddie, but these two people are behind this building because they knew how to save and how to, I don't know my words, how to accommodate and make this building possible because of the way they financed and they worried about the money. So I think Pat and Beth and Bruce, Freddie is here. I'm so thankful. Adams Township should be so thankful to all of you. And Randy would appreciate what you're doing too.
Mr. Herman.
I would like to make a comment also concerning Pat Williams. When my wife and I came here to this township, to Hillsdale, to Mount Adams, in 1993, and we built our house as visitors, as non-US residents. We had to do a lot of legal things and so, and we dealt the first time in our life with authorities, with people who had to help us to do everything legal. And my wife Elizabeth, who is in heaven now, and I met Pat Williams when she was in the basement of the county court with the drain commissioner. And she was very helpful to guide us to do all the right things legally and so on. And when we then settled here permanently in 1998, and my wife was very much involved in the Lake Bel Air Property Association as a secretary, we dealt with the township. We had to deal with the township, and I then took over in 2017 as the president of the Lake Association, and we had legal things to do concerning our assessments. We evaluated everything what we could do in order to improve the lake. And I must say, Pat Williams has always been extremely helpful. When she did not know about certain matters, she was honest enough to say, go there, and guided us what to do. And during the process of the assessment, which became to a controversy not for the township but for our board, Pat always was very helpful. And I tell you honestly, I am very grateful, speaking on behalf of the Lake Bel Air Property Owners Association, that we had a person like Pat Williams who helped us, who never did anything against anybody. And personally, I was a little bit personally upset when I saw in the last few years what happened here in this township hall. I want to thank Pat that after 43 years having done service for the community, which is highly commendable, everybody in this room and everybody in the township should congratulate her and be thanking her and give her a big clap that she did a good job.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, gentleman in the back. Did I get your name?
Ken Krenz, Monk Road.
I'm sorry, what?
Ken Krenz, Monk Road. Looking back at my notes, when Susie first started, she mentioned being able to make all those documents that are on the table there have access to the regular public. You talked about a website possibly. Those are all documents of public record, am I correct? Okay. Do we have a plan that?
Right now, we don't have a plan on our website. I'd like to, but right now, we're kind of stymied on a few different things.
Is there, okay, there's no plan? How do we access?
Not with everything else, that hasn't really been a high priority with everything else.
And you said, how are you gonna what?
Well, I'd like to be able to see all the same documents you do.
Well, you're welcome to come here and go through them all. It's public.
Do I have to come and make, how do I do that? Do I make an appointment? Or?
You'll see Susie's car, my car, come in, show them to you.
All right, well, that's what I have to do. It should You know, it should be just available.
Well, it is available. All public information is available. This township, and I'm breaking my own word by talking during public comment, but I feel that I need to at least justify that this township has not had a website at all in forever. Not through the last administration, the administration before that, the administration before that, or this administration has not had a website. Do we want one? Absolutely. And will we get one? We hope so.
Okay. So the mechanism is to contact Susie and come and do the document?
Yes, please. Thank you. Mr. Caswell.
Well, Pat, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that you beat Beth. You got 45 years and she failed out at 41. But thank you very much for all the graciousness and all the hard work that you've given this township over the years. Yeah, public service is not an easy job. There's a lot of, as Spiro Agnew once said, nadering nabobs of negativism out there who like to complain about things. And sometimes they're legitimate, sometimes they're not. But you have to listen, and you always did. And I appreciate that. You served this township very well. You were honest as the day is long. I've read about other townships where people have absconded with money and so on, and that was never a concern with you at all. You were always very proficient. You always got your reports in on time. You always made proper distributions of money to the various townships. And for any of you that don't know anything about distributing township money through the property taxes, it's not an easy job at all. But I can't say thank you enough to you. It was a pleasure serving with you for 20 years, and I hope you do better in retirement than I've done.
Any more public comment?
I'll do one more. Maybe you can answer Mr. Kren's, the rest of the answer on how to obtain township information, i.e. specifically how FOIA law works, and maybe comment on the differences in the rates that were charged versus what had been previously passed by the board. He does have another option.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Pat.
Anybody else? Oh, James.
A couple things. First on Pat, years ago when she first took office, Steve Janoffi was on the board also, and we have a lot of oil wells out in the community. And they hadn't paid their taxes. And Pat and Steve and the sheriff's department went out and tagged these oil wells and made money for Adams Township. Nobody knows that. How would you like to go with the police out and tag somebody's because they weren't paying their taxes? So in that era, she saved us a lot of money. On the second note, I heard my name mentioned a little while ago about the FOIA. For 3 months straight, I asked Mark if he had finished the FOIA or where that stood, and he said he didn't have time to do it. For 3 months, he didn't have time to do it. If he knew what was going on, he should have said that was not my job. So we did not bully him. He told us he didn't have time to do it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Bob.
Just a comment that if you want respect, you have to give it to.
That is correct.
Absolutely.
Anybody else? Bob, you had go ahead.
Hi. Yes, I met you some years back, and I do believe you have a great strength here in the community and for this board, you know, in the future, wherever you do go. Muchas gracias for everybody. I think you have extended that time, and now it's time to enjoy what you've got. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Hearing nobody, I'll take motion for adjournment.
A motion.
Second. Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?